Okay, we're recording. We're going to look at a PowerPoint on the lymphatic system. This is obviously very important right now that you understand this, and many people do not choose not to. So here's COVID. The lymphatic system is a whole array of systems to protect the body against pathogens. Lymphatic systems return tissue fluid to the circulatory system that has leaked from the blood vessels. But COVID's here. If you're not vaccinated, well, the prediction is in 17 months, there's a 50% chance of people who are not vaccinated will get COVID again, second time. So good luck. I hope you're vaccinated. So let me repeat that. In 17 months, there is a chance that 50% chance that people who are not vaccinated will get COVID again. So if you're not vaccinated, you're really taking a chance. So the lymphatic system has tonsils. It has lymph vessels, lymph nodes in your armpit, your inguinal area, and the purpose of all of these lymphatic vessels is to return tissue fluid that is leaked from the blood vessels. If you didn't have that, you would have an enormous amounts of edema. Well, it's hard to imagine what would happen without that, without the lymphatic system. So what does the lymphatic do? It produces white blood cells that attack foreign organisms, foreign proteins like the spike protein of COVID, maintain blood volume, and help eliminate local variations in interstitial fluid. So the fluid that leaks from the blood vessel into the area around cells, that's the interstitial fluid concentration. Okay, lymph flows in these lymph vessels, and we'll get to the picked up lymph is picked up by the lymphatic capillaries, and we'll talk about these empties, how the lymph system empties into the venous system. So if you look at lymphatic vessels, they're right among the capillary bed, and these are lymphatic capillaries. And notice that it's called a blind N. They don't connect to anything else. So the blood vessels, the veins and the arteries are continuous with their circuit. So the purpose of these lymphatic capillaries is to pick up fluid, because as the blood flows through the arteries and into the capillaries, as oxygen and foods leave the blood vessels, and as waste are picked up, there's fluid that leaks into this interstitial space. So the interstitial fluid has to go back. The excess fluid goes back into the lymphatic system, and excuse me, we'll emit. Okay. Okay, so back to the PowerPoint. So these are lymphatic capillaries. This is the system that's all found all over the body in the interstitial tissue, and it's there to pick up excess fluid that leaks when the blood vessels send the blood into the capillaries at a slightly higher pressure, and the fluid leaks out. That's got to be picked up. Okay, so this is a lymphatic capillary moving into a lymphatic vessel. there are valves in the lymph system to encourage lymph fluid to move toward larger lymphatic vessels and to eventually return the blood to the venous system. So where does that happen? So here the left brachiocephalic vein, here's the right subclavian vein, and the lymphatic ducts are going to, first of all, for the left side of the body and the inferior, so all of that's going to be drained into the left subclavian vein from the thoracic duct, and then the right lymphatic duct is going to drain into the right at the right subclavian vein, in between that and the right internal jugular vein. So the whole lymph system has two compartments. Lymph is drained from the right side through the right lymphatic duct, and drainage of the thoracic duct is going to dump lymph fluid back into the venous system right as the veins are entering the heart. So, okay, we have another person. Let's see what's going on. Okay, admit. Okay, we're back to the PowerPoint, hopefully. Okay, the lymphatic system also produces T cells, B cells, and natural killer cells. T cells are produced and modified in the thymus and are modified in the thymus. B cells, these are the cells that produce antibodies. So when you get a vaccine like Moderna or Pfizer, these B cells are going to be involved in responding to the spike protein that the messenger RNA is the message that tells the body how to make spike protein. The body makes spike protein, and then these B cells are going to respond to that spike protein and make antibodies. If you get the vaccines, you're going to have 5 to 10 more antibodies than if you just have had COVID. So again, you're playing with your life because the mathematical models predict there's a 50% chance in the next 17 months that you're going to get COVID again if you're not vaccinated. So there's two types of T cells. These attack foreign and virus-infected cells, and then helper T cells are very important for helping the B cells recognize foreign proteins. B lymphocytes, they become plasma cells when they respond to a particular foreign protein like the spike protein. That's an antigen. Antigen means antibody generator. They produce antibodies. The antibodies are immunoglobulin. So that's blood, humoral, or antibody-mediated immunity. It's very specific for with the vaccination for COVID, it's going to produce antibodies to the antigen, which is the spike protein. Natural killer cells, watching what's going on, they're going to attack foreign cells, cells that are infected by viruses, and cancerous cells. So the lymphocytes are constantly migrating. They can crawl around like amoebas, and we have production of lymphocytes, white blood cells in the bone marrow, thymus, and other lymphoid tissues like the spleen and so on. So I'm not going to ask you anything about this, so don't worry about this slide. lymph nodules are throughout the body. That's where lymph cells are produced and such as the tonsils, and they're densely packed with lymphocytes to attack any bacteria or viruses that get into your system. Let's stop there. Let's go back to, let's minimize this PowerPoint. Okay, we have somebody else. Sorry. Okay, we're in. And let's stop recording. Stop recording.